So the last step is embroidering the fish on the bib. And it doesn't really matter what side you put the fish on, but I would recommend picking the side that's opposite the side where you just wove in all the yarn tails, so it looks just a little bit neater. So I'm going to say this is the front of my bib, thread my tapestry needle with the orange yarn, and then put my tapestry needle from the back to the front of the bib, somewhere in about the middle of the bib and pretty far off to the right to give enough room to draw a fish. So I'm gonna, again, pull the yarn so that I have about a 6-inch tail left here. I'm gonna leave that alone until the very end when I want to secure the yarn tails. Now I'm going to pick a spot that's like 3/4 the way off from the bib or through the bib, because that's going to be the end of the body where the tail starts. It's going to be in the same plane as this original spot that I started the fish at. And I'm going to pull, not completely tight because I don't want to make a horizontal line. I actually want to make more of a curved shape because this is going to be the bottom of the fish. I'm going to hold that with my thumb, and then I'm going to bring my needle up where I want the bottom of this fish to be, like so, and just move all these yarn tails and things out the way if they get caught as you are pulling yarn. Now I want to secure that in this arc shape. So to do that, I'm going to actually put my needle on top of this yarn, but then through the same hole, or as close as the same hole as possible as where the yarn currently is coming out of, like so. So now you can see this little piece of yarn that I just sewed on is keeping this arc in place. And we're going to repeat that for the top of the fish. So here I am defining the line that's going to be the top arc of the fish's body. I'm going to pull not too tight so I still have an arc. And now I'm going to secure this top arc at the midpoint, like so. Don't worry too much if it's not perfect. Okay. Could be a little more arced, but you know what? That's good enough for me for now. And then we're going to define the tail. So I'm going to make the top of the tail. Then I'm going to put the needle in the spot where the body ends and the tail meets, like so. And then I'm going to define the bottom of the tail. And then put the needle again through that same spot where the body and tail meet. And then I'm gonna fill in the fish's body with vertical stripes. I'm just gonna go literally from the top to the bottom and move the needle over a little bit each time until I completely fill this in. Okay, when you're done filling in the fish, your yarn should be coming out the back of your bib somewhere really close to where you started everything. So we're going to take those 2 yarn tails, tie a knot to secure it all, cut the longer yarn tail down so that it is a more manageable length, or you can do that later if you're a bit lazy like me and want to just get all the sewing done in one go. So I'm just going to thread my needle and pick some orange to weave these yarn tails through in one direction, pull out the actual yarn tails, and then back over one of those strands of yarn and go in the other direction to make it a bit more secure. Great. And then I'll just cut that off as close as possible. And there is the completed bib.